our first speaker today. Very excited about our first speaker coming directly from Shanghai, China to the world today. We have with us Chuck Dai. Chuck Dai is the head of BASF Digitalization Smart Manufacturing in the Greater China region. Chuck has over 16 years of experience with BASF as a global technology manager in Germany, and also responsible for approximately 10 chemical plants technology in China, Germany, United States, and Korea. He was also a cluster plant manager in the Shanghai site. Again, real leadership, real practitioner of the things that he leads. He's currently the BASF Greater China Smart Manufacturing team head, supporting approximately 30 sites on their digital transformation journeys, from consulting, digital solution developing, implementation, service, and maintenance. Chuck, it's a real pleasure to have you with us. Thank you for taking the time to share your expertise directly from Shanghai, China to the world today.
Hello, Jesse. Good morning. Thanks for your invitation. So I will start to share my screen, so my slides. So before I go to my topics, so I'd like to say this small slide is try to explain to you how to do the digital transformation in the chemical industry. So I know majority of your audience maybe not really really in this chemical industry. So for my slides, I try to eliminate too much deep technology part, but to extract more about these digital topics. So at the beginning, you will see for first is our BASF, as you know, is a leading company for chemical industry. And the first slide is about our global strategy. One thing I want to emphasize is you will see the digitalization is in one part of the key visions. This is our visions for the companies. Because we have a vision, then we need to count as a company, we should give this resource. So since about 2015, about 5-6 years ago, in every region of our BASF, we start to establish these dedicated digital teams, which is not just change the name of IT to digital, which is really a combination of the automation technology, OT, so-called OT, and also the IT, and also many people like my background from the business, from the operation directly. We form these dedicated teams. So for Greater China, we start to establish these teams about three years ago in Greater China region to supporting our sites in BASF sites in Greater China region. We have about, in this slide, you shows about 30 sites in Greater China region, from east to west, from north to the south, and around 200 plants in these 30 sites, about 9,000 employees. So here, the revenue in 2019, you will see we're talking about 7.3 billion euro for these 30 sites. And this is our customers. So our team's purpose is to helping all these manufacturing sites to the digital transformation, from the consulting to collect their pain points, developing the solution, digital solution for them, and the implementation of this digital solution. And then later we do the iteration and also to make the maintenance of this digital platform. Then later also do the further innovations. So all the rest of the slides I want to show today is I try to show you more real cases, more user cases, applications. So for the first slide is about our new 5G pilot in our BASF Greater China region. As you know, for 5G topics, there are three main features. What's the strength of 5G? One is very wide, larger bandwidth. Second is with very low latency. And the third one is we say have a high density of IoT. Normally, if you're in the student, you can link to more than 80,000 people's mobile phone. But then our job is to, in the chemical industry, our job is to helping our plant to enable them with all these 3 features from this 5G. So in that case, we're in the cooperation with our 5G technology service partners, and also cooperate with our site, our customers. And in China, we have to also cooperate with our 5G network providers, and also follow these industry standards. And more important is we need to create all these use cases which can leverage the 5G technology and bring the benefits, increasing the safety for the plant. So here we list out some pictures. Yeah, I also have some videos which is already sharing the chatting room. Yeah, so for example, for the big bandwidth, what we can do in our plant, we do the live broadcast with our mobile devices, with our AR glasses on site. So in that case, everything happen on people on the site can be monitoring, can be real life broadcast, go to the back end. Our management can see that, and especially during the maintenance period of time, in a very small area, we cannot do everything with a fixed camera. Yeah? Then we can using these mobile devices to broadcast the live video. And more important, with this 1080p live videos, we can do the AI recognition based on that. We can check the PPE of the operators, where we can check where there's a leakage, whether there's any firing, all these kind of things. And we're talking about another features with low latency. Then we can using this AGV, using this round-trip robot in our chemical plants. And because in that case, this can have like auto driving. Yeah, it can have a very quick reaction. And also with this robot, we can do in the plant is we can do all this do the gas detection in the chemical plant, and also do the CCTV recognition. We have a CCTV on the robot, and we can do the infrared camera to check the temperature of some of the equipment surface, and check that's overheated, and also check whether there's a hot gas leakage. And for the last features of our 5G, we are talking about the high density of IoT things. This is, I think, for chemical industry, more important is broken this in broad between the different solutions, different union, different vendors. In the past, all this IoT technology is like each one channels. Yeah, this cannot really merge together. So we want to take this chance of 5G. We order all the wireless sensors on the site can transfer data real time, go through this 5G, and all collecting to the cloud or our database together. Then based on that, we can do all the big data analysis to the predictive maintenance and so on. So this is about 5G, and also 5G can do also the positioning of our person, our forklift, our trucks in the chemical sites. This is also one feature we are doing a pilot in our Greater China region. So this is all about the 5G technology in chemical industry. And next slide, I will say something about the big data analysis, which is also a very hot topics. Yeah, I think if we're talking about what can really the core or the pearl of the core of the digitalization in the chemical industry, I will say that is process optimization by big data. So in chemical industry, actually we have go to the industry 3.0 automation decades ago. Yeah, this is one of the benefits, means we have enough data from the plant, and this is all about time series data. So we have every second, every minute, with thousands, millions of the sensors on the site deliver the data back to our TCS system, our PLC, our APC system. The question is how to dealing with this data. So in our case, we have sharing here about 3 user cases, 4 user cases from the left to the right. Yeah. So in first of that, we can do this dimension reduction. Yeah. So you can imagine for one plant, we have more than every minute we generate more than 10 dimension data about the key KPIs of the plant. For example, in case one plant they need 5 different chemicals as a raw material. So the raw material consumption of these 5 chemicals is a time series data KPI generation every minutes, every seconds, every day. And then we're also using many utility in the chemical plant, water, electricity, steam, and so on. Also, this unit consumption is a time series data. So add together, we have 10, 20 dimension data. So if we do that, reduce the dimension into 2 dimension, you will see here from the left up degree, this picture, we can already tell our plant people say, your plant is influenced by the seasonal. Why? We put the different season, different months into 4 colors. Season like spring, summer, autumn, winter. Then in your plant data, every point means every month, every day data. Your winter time data, which is showing here the diagram, which is red color, and your summertime data, which point is with yellow color, is different from the rest of seasons. That means your plant is influenced by the season. In the summertime, maybe the temperature is too hot, your cooling system is not enough. In the wintertime, maybe too much heat loss in the atmosphere. Then based on that, we can also, by the covariance, PCA, this kind of algorithm, we can help you to find out the positive and negative proportion, a relationship between 2 parameters. For example, normally in chemical plants, we have the continuous process. We normally put like the plant load as a Y. We can easily find out what the most important 10 parameters to influence this plant load, the capacity of the plant. Normally, we know the higher the plant running, the lower all the cost, utility cost, raw material consumption. But when we do this in the plant, sometimes we can see some key KPIs, the increasing with the plant load. And this gives us a chance to potentially to give the savings to the OPEX. So when we do this analysis, you may recognize we don't really need to know the process. We don't really need to know the chemical reactions, kinetics. We just need to have the data. So this is a pure data-driven big data analysis. We normally call it black box. Yeah. Then the same in chemical industry, we have also many batch process. Every year we have 1,000 batch, maybe 100 batch. This can be done automatically, but still many manual work here. Yeah. So it's very hard for the operation team to make sure each batch is in the golden batch or the excellent, the best situations. So here we can using some golden batch algorithms. We set up a key function, what will be the best golden batch, maybe the highest quality, lowest time, and so on. We form a kind of average curve. Then when we start a new batch, we can check whether all this curve, temperature raising curve, level increase curve is within this golden batch envelope. If it's over this range, they will give alarm immediately. And more importantly, we can using some more machine learning, big data, machine learning algorithms, or even the neural networks algorithms to the prediction. One thing we know in majority plant, we have off-gas emission, yeah. And with nowadays, we have more concerning about CO2 emission, all these environment protection things. And even in our off-gas point, we may install some online measurement, and all data in China is sent to the government. We show to the public. Yeah. So that means you can also feed in this pressure for the operational, for the plant. We make sure our emission is always minimal. So with that, we can do some prediction with all the data, thousands of data DCS in the DCS system to do the big data analysis. So in this drawing, you will see we have one emission curve from one plant, and the blue color is the real value, emission value, fluctuating, and the red curve is our prediction value. It's almost very fitting together, accuracy more than 99.5. And more important, our prediction is about 30 minutes in advance. So that means in 30 minutes before, we can already tell our customer, our plant, yeah, you may have an increasing of your emission after 30 minutes. So please do some adjustment. Then one more step our sharing in this slide is about gray box closed loop. So when we have the prediction from our system, we even can do the backwards automation auto control to reduce the emission, for example, to always keep the plant running in the optimization. So this is all what we are doing in the chemical industry. We leverage the big data analysis, combined with the gray box means combined with the big data, which is data driven, which we call black box, and combined with what we call white box. White box means some kinetics, chemical reactions, the know-hows. We combine together, we call gray box, and we put it into a closed loop. The next step is our Great China, we call EHS platform. EHS in chemical industry means environment, health, and safety. So this is also one key point. No matter our chemical plant, our industry, and our authority also have a focus on that. So in Great China, since 2 years ago, majority of the province in China authority, local authority have regulations to ask. So our plant, our chemical company to establish this EHS digital platform in their own corporations. So this is something we are doing. And besides that, we in BASF, we also follow this so-called responsible care system, which is founded in Canada in 1988, which including all the aspects related to safety, EHS in chemical industry. And we now put this responsible care system into a digital. This here we including like person positioning, which is mandatory requirement from the authority, and also do some with the mobile device, with AR glasses, we do the safety inspection. Then we also do the training by the operators, and we do the walk to permit. Yeah. So all in all, I have some applications has introduced to you. So from these slides, you will see how through the chemical industry, whole value chain, all the user cases we list out, what we can do in every aspect, from the supplier procurement, raw material procurement, to the operation, to the R&D, to the research, and even to the marketing business model. Yeah. So what we can do for digitalization? And we think the user case is one of the most important for digital transformation, because only the user case can really bring the benefits to the company. So here we list out all these applications, all these user cases, how we reach that, how we really implement that. This is the whole procedure. Yeah. Normally we do that start from a new idea, digital ideation. We define a roughly scope, who is the stakeholder, who is the end user. Then we go to the process design. We have some workshop with our end users, our stakeholders, to find out what is the as-is procedure. Then we collection all the pain points. Then we go to the to-be process. What will be the future, more efficiency, simplified to-be workshops process? We normally also call that BPM. The next step, I think, is more our innovations. More important part is we do digital tech enablement. What's the meaning of that is in our process, step 1, step 2, step 3, we want to match with all the new technology we have on the marketing, like 5G, like robotics, like the big data analysis. Can we using all these available mature or not so mature digital technologies for each step of our process, working process? This is what we call a digital tech enablement. The next step will more go to the traditional IT part. We do the SDD, so-called solution design description, including the function design description, also the technology design description. When we finish this description, it's a kind of specification. We can check whether we can do that internally or we need third party supporting. So if we need a third party supporting, some vendor supporting, we're going to bidding, award procedure, evaluation with different vendors. Then next step, when we have defined who is our partner, the vendor for the solutions, we will do the final tuning. We did the workshop together with stakeholders to check the security part, infra interface part. Then finally, also we can do the delivery to the user, test, to the training, to the iterations. So this is the whole process. But nevertheless, very important I want to mention is this is not a waterfall. This is our DevOps process. When we finish some step, maybe digital tech enable, we recognize with the digital technology we can improve the process. We may go back to the step 2 or change something in step 2. Even when we go to step 4, we recognize some big changes, we go back here. So here more about the conception point. We want to sharing with our lesson to learn how to do the digital transformation for the chemical in the plant. Yeah. So from the methodology point of view, we think we have 3 steps, because sometimes our team not only service internally, but also consulting service our customer. Because in BASF customer, majority of customer, they are also chemical plants. Yeah. So the 3 steps is, first we will do the pain point collection. We will check with our customer, our plant, what is your current pain points. In chemical industry, normally that's reliability, efficiency, transparency of the data, EHS, OPEX, and so on. Then we will define a vision, a strategy for this site or this plant. Then when we have the vision, we have the current status, then we have a gap. Then based on this gap, we build a kind of building this digital roadmap. This is a 3 years planning. What will be the priority? What will be the priority 2? For example, in this site, this plant, the EHS is some difficulties. Then we will start this plant, digital EHS transform first. If they say the reliability of the equipment asset is some problem, we can do the predictive maintenance first. So next slide is how to promotion, because many people also ask when we do the digital transformation, digital trials in our company corporation, we recognize it's not so easy to persuade our people, stakeholders, to do that. So we also have about 3 steps to promotion that. First step is our team will do the road show to each of our sites, to sharing what we already have, what solution we have had in the marketing, in our internally. And more important is we recognize normally when we do this road show, we will normally feed the majority silence, yeah. But we will choose some volunteer. Normally in one plant, one side, we all have some volunteer who want to do something. They have curiosity on digital. Then we will start a lean start procedure. First, together with this volunteer, as far as the volunteer have very good practice in this plant, in this site, then immediately all this majority silence, they will raise up the hand. They want to be the second best. They will follow up. The second part is more important, is we need to do some training and test. This is facing our engineer level, our shop floor level, to let them to really understand what's the meaning of the digital, what's the technology we have, what's the big data, how to do that in their daily life. And we also have a digital maturity test for each of them after their training. And the more important is before we do the test, in the step 3, we will tell them what's the meaning of DevOps, which means development and operations. This is an agile approach. And we want to tell them sometimes with the traditional turnkey project, it will not work. We need doing something with small iterations with these workflows. One example is when we design apps for operate, you have 2 choices. You can do that 3 months within our team. Then we give our very sexy, good apps to our operators. But many times the operator says, no, I don't like that. Once we meet it, the operator says, no, I don't like that because I need to collect too much time. So another way to approach is with agile approach. We can do an MVP, a small, with a basic foundation functions of the apps. We go to the operator in 1 week. Of course, it's not mature, but the operator can give feedback immediately. Then we can keep iteration, keep updates. Then still after 3 months, then we are sure this product after iteration 3 months is what our customer want. This is another approach. Yeah. But of course, very difficult is how to make sure that control the balance. Yeah, which one is already good enough to release, which is still not enough. This balance is something we need to check out. So that's all I want to share with you. Any questions?
Chuck, terrific presentation. Thank you very much. I'm gonna be monitoring for questions that are coming in here, and I'm gonna come back on video with you. Terrific presentation. Love the fact that you started right off the bat with a very specific applications, and then you provided us with the big picture. We had a very good sense for what you're doing in practical terms, but also the approach and vision and methodology that you have deployed. So I'm going to be monitoring for questions here for the audience, and the audience, please keep it coming. We have several minutes here to talk directly with Chuck and learn, from a real leader and practitioner of digital transformation. So take advantage of that ask questions that are useful in your context, okay? So the first one comes from Anna Martinez, Chuck, and Anna Martinez is saying, great presentation and plan that you developed. First of all, thank you for sharing that. And the question is, did BASF start their digital transformation from scratch, from a paper-based company, or did you start with some technology already in place that had digitized some of your paper-based processes?
Thanks for your questions. I think it's also a very interesting question. Also, many people will ask that. So if we go back 5-6 years ago, yeah, we started discussion this industry 4.0 digitalization. Actually, we have two ways to go, yeah. One way is we doing something like a puzzle, yeah. We do one piece by one piece. We have a new idea here, we do that. And we have a new idea in that area, we do that. But then the disadvantage is you will have some gaps between each puzzle, yeah. So we need to do additional for each to meet to fill in these gaps. Of course, we have another approach. We have very holistic planning. We're considering everything in the chemical industry, and we're planning for that 1 year. Then we abroad our launch to the marketing to our plant altogether. So finally, after a long discussion, we choose the first choice. So we use case by use case, we do that step by step from the paper-based design this workflow. Then we do the digital big data analysis and so on. Then step by step increasing. I don't know if this answers the question or not.
No, this does, because that beginning is very important, right? And what I'm learning here from you is that it was not some grandiose idea that we're going to digitize everything. You start looking for specific opportunities that made sense to digitize and start the process on a step-by-step basis. Is that the way that I understood? Is that correct?
Yes, definitely.
Very good, very good. That's again another great example of a practitioner approach. It's not that some consultant came in and said, let's have this grandiose digital roadmap. We can have that. That's good for directional guidance. But then we have to identify what parts of the business make sense to digitize first that will create value, and we'll build on this journey over time to the point where you are. Seems like you will have evolved enough on the business that you can do more holistic digitization exercises and intelligent automation and so on and so forth. So that's very, very helpful. There's another question here from Kumar. This is a general question, not for you, just about related to the presentation slides. I want to remind the audience again that all sessions are recorded, so you're going to have access to the actual presentation and the slides in live mode being presented by the speaker next week when we send out the link and password to access the recorded sessions. Very well. The next one comes from William Fuller, and he was asking about your EHS monitoring, and the question is whether or not EHS monitoring also include greenhouse gases. Is that part of EHS monitoring for BASF?
Yes, definitely. We are to the footprint of greenhouse, to the renewable energy. We record that we collect all the data from plant, from all the sensors, from online measurements. Then based on that, we do the calculation. We statistics that. Then we will do the BI in dashboard to show that real time what are our CO2 emission totally, what are our emission, so to add together.
Very good, very good. Thank you for that. Then our next question is related to vertical integration and your digital transformation efforts as you integrate vertically. So as you think about your customers, you think about your suppliers, and you think about the organization, are aspects of your digital transformation that includes vertical integration with suppliers, vendors, and also with customers?
Yeah, this is also a very important question actually. So we normally say we have vertical integration and also horizontal integration. Yeah, In vertical integration in chemical industry, we have 5 layers. Yeah, we have the sensor layer, we have the control system layer, we call DCS, PLC, and so on. Then the third layer is the real-time data, PIMS, PI. Then the fourth layer, we have the ERP system. Then the fifth layers go really across our end plant. Then this is already, when we do some practice on that, we discuss a lot of we call OT-IT connection. There's many security topics, many also connectivity topics, yeah, technology inside. And more important, what I think you mentioned about supply chain is a topic on the loading and unloading, yeah, and about our customer, our vendors. This is more about in the horizontal integrations, yeah, how to link business to business. This need really some more. One example we call smart tank. Yeah, you know, we provide our product to our customer, put in their tank. So what our customer are willing to us to do, yeah, we install some wireless sensor in their tank to monitoring really time know how their consumption of their raw material, which is our product. So when we know that the level of the tank reduced, we can already start to prepare our operation to delivery in advance. So this is a very good example about vertical integration and also horizontal integration.
Excellent. Thank you. This follow-up question here from, let me take a look. Lots of questions coming in. Keep them coming. I'm able to get to all of them, but I'll get to most of them, and we'll cover the main topics. This one is from Talon Patty, and it's a question around mobility specific. And the question is whether you have a preference for the mobile operating software. And we're talking about here, you know, Apple, iOS, or Android, or Windows. And then what is BASF's future direction around mobility? Will BASF be looking for virtual reality, augmented reality? So there are a lot of questions built onto his question here. So let's just take one at a time. So first, from a mobile operating software standpoint, is there a preference? Is there a standard that you have that you're using?
Yeah, thanks for the question. I know all these questions actually they're bundling together. Yeah, we're actually talking one things. Yeah, so principally we enhance our people on the site, our operator, their daily work. Yeah, I think first I would say when we're in the chemical industry, very important things for these terminal mobile devices, we need to have the exome proof. This is very important. We have exome area in the plant. Yeah. So in that case, we have to say in the marketing now, in local marketing, China or global marketing, majority of the mobile device, they have Android system. Yeah. But also in the office environment, iOS is also preferred, also used. Yeah. So this is something we normally, when we design apps, we will design both. Yeah. We have to. Yeah. Of course, the cost double. Yeah. Then about this AR, VR, all this, we are also trying that. Yeah. Also, one very important feature, we need exome proved certificate in each country, which is different a little bit. And secondly, more important is this the bandwidth I mentioned. That's why now we leverage 5G, we leverage Wi-Fi 6. We also compare which is the best. Yeah. And also we consider cloud use. And this is something we are trying, and we especially in the COVID-19 time, we benefit a lot here. We do the remote access here.
Very good, very good. The next question here, Chuck, is a little bit more on the cultural aspects of the transformation, and specifically as you start bringing, you know, more and more advanced technologies to the plants, and you may start automating different portions of the plant. What are the implications, and maybe how do you communicate with maybe more unskilled workers, engineers, and technicians who may be fearful of these changes, that they may affect their jobs, they may affect their ability to do work? How you're dealing with that challenge and communicating with the frontline professionals?
Yeah, this is actually also very important question we're facing every day. Yeah. So like I mentioned in the promotion, the slides. Yeah. With these cultural things, we need to do two things. Yeah. First is we need to give the training for different level of the employee people in the plant. So we have training course. I personally also do the training course for the executive level, and also they focus on more about the data governance. Yeah, this new technology they want to know a little bit, but more about how to do the data roadmap, all this kind of information. Yeah. Then we also do for the engineering level, engineer level. We teach them what is the big data analysis, all the technical part. Yeah. And for the workflow, yeah, or the operators, we need to communicate with them what's their pain point, what they can gain. We want to tell them also the second point is what everything we are doing is not to make them get fired or no job. This is not, we don't see this in our industry, chemical industry, which may be true in other industry, but the chemical industry, we don't think we have no people factory in 50 days, in 50 years. It's very difficult. But what we can do for digital is we're helping them for their daily life, make them safer, make them more efficient, even more cool. Yeah, you know, many new employee in, I don't know, in other region, in China region, many young guys, they don't want to go into chemical industry anymore. Yeah. Then when they recognize in our industry can try all these VR, AI, all these cool things, this is also a way to attract them there. Yeah.
That's a great perspective. That's some unique challenges, but unique opportunities in the industry as well. So this next question comes from Utpal Ganguly, and Utpal is first says, great presentation, appreciate that. What did you do? And you have talked a little bit about this already, but how did you do? What did you do for, if anything else that you'd like to add, for having successful change management as you introduce these digital solutions? Anything else you'd like? You already made some comments about this. Anything else that, you know, as you start this journey of digitizing, that the change management part of it was important, of course. Is anything else, any suggestions or advice you'd have for organizations that may be starting on that path?
Only one point. Actually, in Global, yeah, our BASF Global, we have a dedicated team to responsible for this change management. They are doing also the training, to the culture, to supporting, to increasing the atmosphere. This is something I want to add here.
Very well, very well. Gabriel Pereira is asking, and I think this is something that you already addressed, but I would just confirm that whether or not the transformation is whether part of the transformation is reducing carbon footprint and becoming more green. I would assume that that's part of your EHS program, but is carbon footprint reduction, greenhouse reduction is part of this effort, correct?
This is another topic actually in chemical industry, but they can be leveraged by the digital. This is a complete difference. This is a complete another field, yeah. Because when we can reach this carbon green field can be also done by the optimization of the process, improve the technology process in the chemical industry can also reach that. Yeah, this is a combination topics. Yeah.
Very good, very good. Next question comes from Kenneth Zielinski, and Ken asks, how is the 5G infrastructure being deployed? Are you using towers, individual APs? What does that 5G infrastructure looks like in a chemical plant?
Okay, a very nice topic, a very interesting question, also important question. So we have many choices in China. We can using like the public network. They have a big towers beside our plant, which is belong to telecom providers. But this can already open for us to cover about 500 meter around the area. But we can also do that. We call MEC. We can do everything by ourselves. But then we need to consider external proof. We need to consider even indoors. We need to all install this antenna, small box, yeah, into the every 20 meter in the chemical industry, the plant. So the procedures like this. First, the first step we created the user cases with this 5G, as I mentioned. Secondly, we should analyze each user cases. What will be the reliability we need? What will be the security, data security point of view? Yeah. In case like a robot, yeah, the security level is very low because not deal with our code process. Yeah, and secondly, even suddenly damaged or doesn't work, we still can survive. Yeah, so in that case, we can use the public network, which are almost no cost, very low cost for the client. In case we have very high security user cases, very high reliability requirements, then we have to build our own code network, which of course will increasing the cost for 5G.
Great insights, Chuck. Thank you very much for that. The next question comes from Tim Strongman, and Tim's asking, first of all, he's saying, great presentation, Chuck, and it's fantastic to see new technology being put to real life use. So very good coverage, he says. And the specific question he asked has to do with your EHS platform that you use. Did you design that on yourself, or you acquire an off-the-shelf commercial product?
It's a combination, yeah. From the process point of view, yeah, procedure point of view, we have our own procedure, our work to permit, our safety inspection. This is all BASF developed process in the past decades, 100 years, yeah. So we gave this, like we do this workshop, we define this to-be work process. This is BPM process, yeah. We generate these requirements. Then we ask our vendor, local vendor, to develop customizing for us. Then we do the iteration.
Very good, very good. And I'm gonna ask you a last question because I don't want you to get tired of answering so many questions. So the last one is more of a holistic question, and this has to do. This comes from Frank Harper, and Frank is asking about what came first. I'll summarize this question as what came first: digital transformation or organizational transformation? And so here's about, you know, how you prepare the organization for this change. Was there some organizational change that happened or transformation that happened first, followed by digital transformation, or the digital transformation started to happen and then you had to go prepare the organization for that? So what came first in these two types of transformations?
Okay, this is also a fantastic question. Yes, we're thinking a lot, yeah, in the past 3 years, 5 years. So in BASF, we have 3 steps, I would say. First, we dedicated, we know we want to do some digitalization. We could do that projects. So we form a project team at the very beginning. We told, when we found this project team, we already talked to everybody. This project team will dissolve in 3 years. So the task of this project team to bring the atmosphere. Then after 3 or 4 years, we reach the first step. We change our organization again. So we form a really vertical, dedicated process. We form this CDO from this digital department in every region, which will change according to rate. Then the third step is what we are doing now. We recognize when we do this digitalization, we have the global digital team, we have regional digital team, even each business unit, they have their digital team, in each plant will have the digital team. This is the future, yeah, not done by one dedicated team. So now we're more talking about a community. For every project, we have the colleagues from different teams we add together because every digital project dealing with too much field, supply chain, process, HR, and so on. So we just working together in a weekly metrics to really generation everybody contribution their knowledge to bring to the digital online. So this is something we are experiencing now.
Chuck, thank you very much. Such valuable insights from your presentation, from the Q&A, and thanks for sharing and giving and teaching us, you know, this very practical lessons. I was monitoring the boards here. Nobody has logged off the session. It's almost unheard of that during the Q&A that everybody stays on throughout the entire thing, and hundreds of people who just stayed on because such insightful questions and answers that you have provided. Thank you for the audience for very, very good questions that you asked. And again, Chuck Dye, head of digital transformation at BASF. What a pleasure to have you with us. It's a real gift for us and for our global audience to have you share your expertise with us today.
Thank you very much. I also enjoyed the time with your questions.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Chuck Dai with us, tremendous presentation, the head of BASF Digitalization and Smart Manufacturing in Greater China, directly from Shanghai for us today. What a gift. Great start, and we're gonna keep bringing experts, practical insights for you for the next 3 sessions. Our next session will start at the top of the hour. We're going to be with one of the leading global experts on business process management and digitalization. So we're going to have Dr. Matthias Kirchmer with us. He's going to talk about process-led digitalization, reliable and effective value realization. Let's meet back up at the top of the hour when we restart the session. And in the meantime, or throughout the next 3 days, log on, look on LinkedIn under my name, José Pires, and you can make comments, ask questions about the presenters, about the presentations. We can interact there about anything that we don't cover here, okay? So make sure to share, like, comment on the post, and let's exchange ideas related to the topics that are being discussed here. So for now, we're gonna wrap up this session. We see you back at the top of the hour with Dr. Matthias Kirchmer and process-led digitalization. Thank you.